The process of defining the problem, which is the origin of the problem-based learning approach, is contained in what we might call a scenario. A scenario is an important element which supports the development of a dynamic, multidisciplinary and cooperative teaching shared among the community of teachers. A problem to be solved, in fact, can be approached from multiple points of view, and the size of the content can be part of a discussion and an open debate. It is very important that teachers convey to students the idea that presenting opinions in PBL is the result of a process of knowledge and research and not of improvisation. I support a thesis because I have studied the content and I am able to withstand the criticism and the critical opinions about what I support. In PBL, there is no place for hearsay or found on the internet knowledge. PBL contains factual findings that students are certain of, since they are the result of a personal research. The scenario is a presentation of the problem, and it contains the basic elements to start critical learning. The scenario is built by teachers on their training needs, dictated by learning objectives and materials. The scenario develops one of the themes in the teaching program and does not constitute an alien additional element, no matter how exciting it may be perceived. The scenario could be defined as the story of the problem and can be presented in various stimulating and suitable forms, able to spark both the attention and the curiosity of the students. The scenario's content is oriented towards the analysis of the possible consequences and potential solutions. A scenario can be divided into a description of the contextual situation, such as the consequences of an earthquake in an urban area, or describing the difficulty in operating a machine. It is nevertheless necessary that the scenario be related to real-life problems and not directed to an abstract and theoretical theme. The scenario may be accompanied by a series of guiding questions to help students orientate within their research materials and documents. It is suggested, however, that the definition of the problem, which is the result of the scenario, may become a debate among students. Having identified the problem emerged from the scenario will facilitate the definition of a critical research path and of possible solutions. Building a scenario is, therefore, supported by a logical approach to narrative. The story of the scenario is multidisciplinary, since the problem does not have only one solution, but more than one logical solution, and the possible solutions do not belong to one science, but to several sciences and techniques. In order to identify and build a scenario, the teacher or the group of teachers can use an original written text, an existing video from the web, the contribution of an expert. In the case of a narrative approach, one must take into account forms of communication familiar to students.